Now we have with us Mr. NILESH LELE. NILESH LELE is President Chamber for Advancement of Small and Medium Businesses. Mr. LELE is a young dynamic technocrat with over 20 years of experience in varied fields in India and in USA. As a serial entrepreneur, he has built brands in Indian ethnic beverages and exotic fruit wines. Currently, he is the co-founder of Food Tech Pathshala. You might have heard about Indian institutes, and MS and MBA in finance from USA. He is also CFA and FRM charter holder. Currently, he is serving as president for Chamber for Advancement of Small and Medium Businesses, mentor for Food and Beverages and Agriculture, Startup India, DPIIT, Government of India, mentor and advisor at AIC, ADT, Paramati Incubation Center, mentor and advisor, T-Hub, Hyderabad, Government of India, mentor at IIT Mandi, SCI Incubation Center, Board of Studies member for various institutes, colleges and universities across India. So we are very honored to have you here. Actually, we decided
awake after that lunch, right? It was tasty and very widespread, I would say, right? I don't know if you guys also want to move that side. I mean, the girls who are sitting here, I don't know if you want to move that side. I don't want your neck to be sprained, right? So you are here for last 5 days, I'm being told? 7 days. So how's the experience been? It's been good. And what are topics you heard on? Because I can't talk on anything, right? So I'll talk on something that has not been spoken on yet. I have a PPT, but that's okay. Yes.
Mainly on the valorization of the agri-food base.
Okay. So more on the technical things? Policies?
Economical aspect.
Okay.
Financial aspect.
What financial aspects, for example?
We came to know about various schemes that
Okay.
government provides
Okay.
for entrepreneurs.
Very good.
And,
What else? So, how many of you are from this institute, from this university? Okay. What about the others?
Islamic University of Science.
And any other university represented here?
No.
Okay. So mostly from Kashmir only, right? Okay. Very good. So, I'll speak more on startups and opportunities and entrepreneurship. How many of you want to become an entrepreneur or have your business of your own? 1.5. Either it's up or it's down. Okay, there's no in between, right? It's up or down. Okay, good. So at least 4 or 5. So why entrepreneurship is important? Because you will create jobs, right? And we need more job creators than job seekers. And unless we have more job creators, how will the job seekers? We don't want all job creators, otherwise you will not have good employees to work for you also. So we need to have a good amount of and slightly more number of job creators than job seekers. Like right now, it's being told that around 4 to 5% of Indian people are entrepreneurs. So 4-5% people are employing 95% of the people. That number needs to go up to around 7 to 8%, then employing 92%. Okay, and that is why it's very, very important. I mean, people may have different views, but I always have a positive view and I'm very optimistic. I have stayed in the US for 11 years. I've been moved back and it's been almost 12 years and I have no intention to go back to US or any other country. I have more than 7-8 companies. I have built 2-3 businesses, sold it off. I'm building another one, part of 7-8 companies as either founder or a director and all that. So what I'm trying to get to is that I see a lot of opportunities. If you have seen that Amitabh Bachchan movie of a 6 and a 9, right? One side the son sees a 6, whereas the other side the father sees a 9, right? So I'm like that. You may see it as a problem, I may see it as an opportunity. I live in Mumbai, and during rainy seasons, Mumbai is very not well known, but unfortunately unwell known for potholes, if you know, right? Khadde hote hain raste mein and all that. So when I first moved back, people used to ask me, "Arey yaar, wo khadde hote hain and बारिश में पानी जम जाता है and so many other things." So how can you how are you able to adapt after living in the US for 11 years? I said, I don't see them as potholes, I see them as an opportunity. Right? Can I come up with a solution where I can actually in turn make money out of it? Right? Yes, potholes के वजह से क्या होता है? You may take, instead of taking 1 hour, you may take 1.5 hours. So I will leave my house half an hour early, right? So you can convert that. If you keep thinking, यार traffic में फंस गए, late पहुंचते हैं, ये होता है, वो होता है, तो you will always see that. You will always see a 6 or a 9. I mean, 6 or 9 both are good. But what I'm trying to say is that you will always see a problem in that situation. But someone like me always think कि कोई भी come across any company will say that we don't have jobs, we don't have. We have to introspect that company is having an opening, but why are we not getting a job? Right? That is how, that is attitude that is very, very important. Are you with me?
Yes.
Yeah. And so I want to give you a brief idea of what things are happening. And if you want to become an entrepreneur, typically your journey should start with the first block, which I call it a unique idea. Or I would also like to say a problem statement. So do you see any problem statement in front of you? Could be anything. So my favorite example is Ola and Uber. I don't know how many of you are familiar with an Ola or an Uber, which is a taxi aggregator in a way, right? So I lived and grew up and have spent all my life in Mumbai. It's not that taxis did not exist in Mumbai. What we call Kali Pili had always existed, and movies में भी आप देखते हो 30s and 40s से चलते आ रहा है. ऐसा नहीं कि taxi नहीं थी, but there are some problems with that taxis that were available. You had to go find him. He may say yes, he may say no. He may overcharge you. दुनिया घुमा के लाएगा, whatever, right? What if I want to go to airport at 4 a.m. in the morning? I am nervous whether I'll get a taxi or not. So do you see that there is a solution available, but we have certain problems in it. Now what does an Ola and Uber do? I can sit at home on my app. I know exactly whenever I want, I will book it. He will come pick me up, right? I know exactly what the charges are going to be. Even if it is 4 a.m. in the morning, easily you are getting a taxi, right? So clear-cut problem statement was identified, and a very good enough solution was provided. Of course, there are a lot of factors that are there. This solution wouldn't have been that successful maybe 25 years ago when we didn't have the smartphones, or when people may not have had enough what we call disposable income. Right? 25 साल पहले भी taxi थी मुंबई में, but I used to not travel. I know mine. I'll of course share them, but I want you to think about it.
So as there's a need to actually fulfill the SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, so we can, there are n number of problems related to those goals. For example, greenhouse gas emissions are there, carbon footprints are there. So these are some examples.
Okay, very good. So this SDG is a thing that Western world has put on us, right? We have been doing that, okay? हम लोग जाते हैं तब लाइट ऑफ करके जाते थे, पानी वेस्ट नहीं करते थे and all that. But चलो, fortunately now that SDG has come, and like someone always says that when the Western world says it, everybody wakes up and says, अरे हमको करना चाहिए, right? Food waste you spoke about, and I was going to talk about it because I didn't do it, but during the lunchtime I saw, and I wanted to click a photo of the plate after I was done. Okay, because firstly I'm a pure vegetarian, so I had only 2-3 options. Secondly, I come from a region and I'm being taught that not even a single grain of rice will be seen on my plate, right? So I was going to click a photo of my plate and maybe a photo of some of the other plates, right? So what does that show you? That in itself will show some food waste that is happening. Traditionally, in Indian culture, what used to happen? We used to eat on a banana leaf, right? Whatever is left would be fed to a cow or a buffalo or animal. So what is that? I think you had a session on circular economy also, right? So हमारे खून में ही है circular economy, SDGs and all that. Unfortunately, we have moved away from it, and hopefully we will go back to it. Since you mentioned food waste, actually food waste is supposed to be the first or the second largest contributor of greenhouse gases. That's huge, right? And that's why they also have this whole concept of plant-based meat. Some of you may have heard about this plant-based meat, yes, Beyond Meat and all that. So now what they are doing, what is the logic behind plant-based meat? that the animal that you are eating, let's say, especially if it is a red meat, you are going to feed it for how many years? Typically the red meat or even a chicken for that matter, you feed it for how many years? Or how many months? 6 months? So how much food has it really consumed? Maybe in kilograms, how many? I don't know, I am not a chicken farmer, but let us say maybe 50 kilos in that 6 months. And what is the output that you are getting? 2 kilos. So 50 kilos of input is giving you 2 kilos. So what is it indirectly doing? That's why they are calling it causing greenhouse gases. 50 kilo ka khana khila ke 2 kilo kha rahe. And that is why now they are saying, okay, I want to become a vegan, I want to go for plant-based. So the whole non-veg will be mimicked using vegetarian options. So you will use vegetable protein, you will use soya bean or any of those vegetable proteins, you will take vegetable carbohydrates, you will take vegetable fat and make it into a meat. Now this is a problem statement, I think, and has been accepted as a problem statement in the Western world, where predominantly they eat red meat. And when I say red meat, it's beef and pork, right? Fortunately, in India we don't eat red meat, so the animals we eat are being fed for a lesser amount of time. Secondly, our population is not totally meat eating and all that, right? So they are now very big on this plant-based. Also vegan, we can extend it. Vegan is where you are eating, when you are not eating non-veg, but you are not eating dairy products also. So no milk, nothing. So now what they are drinking are the almond milks and the walnut milks and all those other things. And do you know what percentage of the US population is not vegan? It's more than 3%. Yeah, so that's a big number because their population is around 300 million. So 10 million of their population is now vegan. Matlab 30 crore population, 30 crore, whatever, 300, 350 million. Now you're looking at 1 or 2 crore people who are vegan. So it has become a big market. Not maybe so much in India. It may or it may not become. I personally think that we may become a little bit of vegan, but we may not go into this plant-based, because plant-based का problem मैं बताता हूँ. जो non-veg खा रहा है उसको non-veg खाना है. और मुझे से वेज वाले को तुम मेरे को मॉक चिकन खिलाओगे तो मुझे चिकन पसंद नहीं है या नहीं चाहिए, इसलिए मैं नहीं खा रहा हूँ ना. By giving me a vegetarian chicken, am I going to accept it? I'm not going to accept it. So who's the target market for a mock meat in India? Of course the non-veg eating, but non-veg eating also they were eating chicken non-veg because they want to eat non-veg. The days that like lot of people follow days कि भाई Monday या Thursday को non-veg नहीं खाते. So are they really going to eat this veg-based thing, or they are going to skip those 2 days? So really think whether it's a problem statement in India and then decide. Right? Similarly, lactose intolerance is a big issue in the Western world. But we have a history of 5,000 years of we drinking milk of animals, right? Especially cows and buffaloes. So making us vegan and giving me vegan butter and vegan cheese and vegan cake and God knows what all things they have as a daily supplement is going to be very difficult. Also understand, when I drink 1 cup of milk, what am I really getting? If I drink 100 or let's say 200 ml of milk, how much, what am I really getting out of it? Yeah, but macronutrient wise in the percentage, like what is that 200 ml? Almost 85% is water only. And then remaining water, fat and all that you probably know better than I do, right? But now when I talk about almond milk, do you realize what almond milk is? It's basically a concentrate. And at least I have been taught not to eat more than 5 or 6 almonds. I should be drinking almond milk equivalent to 5 or 6 almonds. How much almond milk should I really be drinking? 1 chammach, 2 chammach. So will it solve my problem of that substitute for milk? So is that really a problem statement and a good enough solution in India? Right? Even soya milk. There are a couple of brands who are trying, right? Sofit and few other. But has it really kicked off? Because it has that typical smell. It has that beany smell. It has that non-vegetarian smell. So the veg people are not accepting it, like tofu. I am a paneer eater. You tell me, नहीं paneer के जगह आप tofu खाओ, मैं नहीं खा रहा. You understand what I'm saying, right? So you have to understand. So now again I'll go back. So she mentioned one, greenhouse gases. There are many other. Climate change is another very big problem we are going to face. Water, clean water and water in general. But here's an important fact I will tell you, because recently I heard, we are saying that the water tables are going down,